Bodine52, how are you folks? I am out and about on a beautiful day, riding solo, not a cloud in the sky, looking at these beautiful roads. And I was thinking, I love riding by myself, just getting out. But I also like sometimes going to group events, doing some group riding. And I really like it when I'm with 2 or 3 friends riding. Wow, not sure which one I like best. Let's talk about it. Wow, it is so awesome to be out right now riding. It's 75 degrees. It's a weekday. I have time off and just get out and ride. And I was thinking, because this past weekend I was out on a ride with some friends for lunch. It ended up being 3 motorcycles. And it was a riot. We were all in the comms talking. You know, with 3 people it's kind of fun. So I was thinking about, what do I enjoy the most? So let me start by saying, let's talk about group rides. So let's talk about that truck not coming out on me. So many of you that follow the channel know that I was just at the West Virginia Motovlog meetup last month. And if you haven't seen that video, I'll definitely link it in the description. And we had 27 people, 25 bikes, 27 people show up to that event. And boy, you think about how cool that'd be as a group ride, but obviously you couldn't do that because that's not safe, especially around West Virginia twisties, right? So we ended up breaking all of the groups into more or less 4, 5, 6 riders. So a bunch of different groups, right? As much for safety as anything. So that was cool. I really liked that. And I enjoyed that. I think the group I was out with was 5. But it comes with some inherent risk, right? Especially if you're riding twisty roads. You know, the skill level of the riders. You know, you got to make sure you'll be able to communicate the person leading and the person sweeping in the back. And, you know, so there's some inherent dangers in that when you're riding group rides, especially on twisty roads. So maybe if you're riding on something a straightaway, you can get away with that for a while, but there's still risk. Rider levels, etc., the roads. So we split that up just to try to prevent anybody from really getting hurt. And what worked out great is the group that I was in, you know, we had comms, so there were 3 of the 5 of the bikes that we were with talking, and it was safe and enjoyable. And I really like that, right? But that's a big group. So then there's this weekend, or this past weekend, where it was 3 motorcycles. And I gotta tell you what, that was a lot of fun. Not only communicating, but, you know, we could all keep up with each other. I happened to lead that ride, and it was just pretty awesome, right? 3 of us chatting, enjoying the beautiful country. I really, really like that. Because most of the time I'll ride by myself or with Mrs. Bodine and maybe one other bike, but 3 was kind of cool. And then there's days like today that, you know, it's just beautiful. You're off from work, and you can just ride for a couple hours. Do kind of whatever you want. Stop wherever you want or not. And that is awesome. I love clearing my head sometimes, just getting out. And so there's 3 different types of riding as far as I'm concerned, you know. The big group rides, the group with a couple friends, and then the solo. And I was just curious, what do you guys like? What's your preference, number 1? And then what do you do? I mean, do you actually do all 3 of those? Do you avoid the big rides? I know if you go to if you ride a Harley Davidson and go to a hog chapter meeting, there's tons and tons of people, and it's a big ride. And while fun, getting together and having lunch and riding, there's some inherent dangers in that, right? So, do you like those rides? Do you avoid them, or do you do them sometimes, like I do, right? Maybe once or twice a year, I would say. Or do you prefer the just a couple people, or by yourself? I mean, which do you prefer, number one? And then number two is, which of those do you do? And I guess to answer my own question, it's between riding alone or with Mrs. Bodine and 2 or 3 people. The big rides are kind of cool occasionally, and I like that. But I wouldn't make it a long-term habit of that. And did you see that bird that I just almost clocked? That'd make a great video. You know what? I will tell you what. I think at the end of the day, I like riding with 2 or 3 people. I think you just get interaction with folks. You can stop, have lunch or breaks or whatever with another couple maybe, or a couple buddies or a couple gals, right? And I was kind of curious what you guys do. What do you think about group rides? And of course, which do you do? Maybe with your spouse, your buddy, your girlfriend, whatever. Just curious. Leave me some notes if you don't mind in the comment section. And I'm going to keep enjoying this beautiful day. As you can see, barely any clouds, 75 degrees. It's the middle of the week. There's nobody around on this back road. I shouldn't say that. And it's like I got the road to myself. So I'm going to keep enjoying that. But I appreciate you checking in the channel. Please be safe out there. I do appreciate the time that you spent just looking in on my video. And always love hearing back from you. So that is it for me today. Please be safe on and off the motorcycle. This is Bodine 52 checking out. Bye-bye.